I had a letter come in the post. She said, "Dear Nigel, I'd like to thank you for saving my son's life."
I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, that those 80,000 people there watching that game, not one of those knew what you were going through during that period. You were, and you had been suffering from bulimia for a long time.
I was 25, 26 years of age. I was in a very, very, very dark place. I did something one night that I will regret for the rest of my life.
Right, should we take a little stroll down memory lane then and have a look at little important bits in your career? I'm really looking forward to this. Should we go for it?
I'm not. Go on then, let's go.
Oh, look at those shorts.
Look at those quads, look at them. And Minute Cerrig hasn't changed one bit. I was brought up in a council estate in rural West Wales, where your auntie next door would babysit you, or your older cousin from the bottom of the street, or your grandparents. The primary school, only 14 of us in the whole school. Right. All of those people around you growing up have a huge influence, I think, on the person you become. No matter what you achieve in life, Sarah, you should always remember where you've come from and the people who've helped you along the way.
You hadn't come out openly as being gay when you started refereeing in, you know, what's perceived to be a very masculine sport. How big a part did that play in thinking that you couldn't come out?
A huge part, and not just the macho image of rugby, but also as well my upbringing. You know, went to chapel, went to Sunday school, taught by my mum then that, you know, when you get older you'll get a girlfriend, then you'll get married, then you'll get children, then you become a grandparent, and that's the way the world keeps on going round. And here I was at 19 years of age, for the first time ever experienced something I knew nothing about, finding myself only on occasions attracted to men. On the odd occasion I would experience something with another man, I'd feel ashamed afterwards. I'd feel dirty. I'd go to the shower, I would scrub myself to get rid of this dirt on me, so much that I'd cut myself bleeding washing myself. I'm scared of being found out, nobody out in the macho world of rugby. And then that just put me on that dark, dark road then, you know, and well, I have to give up refereeing. It was now my job by then. It's a friendly game, but if you want to go off and lose 10 weeks, then carry on. I did something one night that I will regret for the rest of my life. You know, I left a note from my mum and dad and said that I couldn't carry on living my life anymore. And I'll never forgive myself. They've forgiven me, there's no doubt, but I'll never forgive myself for what I put my mum and dad through when they got up that morning and thought that they read a note and thought they were never going to see their only child ever again. And got airlifted to hospital, spent a couple of days in intensive care, about a week or so in hospital. The doctor came around and said, look, he said, you're a very, very lucky young man, Nigel. It'd been another 20 minutes, it'd been too late to save you. This is the moment that my life changed forever. And this is the moment my life was saved. And my mum said to me, if you ever do anything like that again, then you may as well take me and your dad with you, because we don't want to carry on living our life without you. And I thought, this is who I am. I need now to accept who I am.
I think we all could have guessed that this would be in your selection of things to watch back, the World Cup final.
I haven't watched this game back yet.
You've never watched it back?
No, I haven't watched it back. No, I haven't. Because there's no point me doing a self-review on the World Cup final, you know. So the World Cup final is the pinnacle, and it's not just because you get a point there because the selectors believe that you are the best referee in the world, but what it meant for my dad, my family. This turned out to be, you know, the best final of all the World Cups that's been. But it could have all gone so wrong because, and this is a true story, I go to blow the whistle, think, oh, that's forward. And Wayne Barnes was my touch judge, and Wayne Barnes was right in line with it. And Barnes, goes, oh, play on, because he could see now I was going to blow. So we play on, and Barnes comes in, 9 goal offside, 9 goals. So I penalise Wilgenia, give the penalty. Carter now goes for the posts. As I'm standing there now, they replay the pass, and the pass is forward. And I thought, oh God, If Carter kicks this now, there's 3 points here that they shouldn't have had.
And in a World Cup final.
World Cup final.
I'm feeling sick for you.
Can you imagine now if New Zealand won that final by 2 points or 1 point? Then, you know, there's nothing you can do, but you can't change your mind now. And you can't let that affect the rest of your refereeing. The final's gone well. Joel Deuce, the referee's manager, he's over the moon. I get up to get my medal from Prince Harry. And Prince Harry goes, well done, Nige, well refed. And I come off the...
Does Prince Harry call you Nige? I love
that. Yeah.
I love that.
I saw him in the World Cup in 2019 after I did the semi-final, New Zealand-Australia. He goes, oh, Nige, I said you should be refereeing this final. So I had a chat with him in the... I didn't call him Hardmind, I said,
I hate what's happening. I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, that those 80,000 people there watching that game, not one of those knew what you were going through personally during that period. You were, and you had been suffering from bulimia for a long time. And was it at its worst during this period?
Yeah, I still suffer from it now, but not to the extent I did back then. It was at my worst when I was suffering with mental health issues around dealing with my sexuality in my sort of really late teens and sort of most of my 20s. But then, as the pressures of fitness testing came in, you had to reach a fitness level. So anyway, I slipped back into the old habit then of being bulimic then, in sort of, you know, the pressures of going in as the #1 referee, the pressures of keeping a fitness and performance, and the bulimia came back, and thankfully now it hasn't risen its head for about 6-7 months now.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because I probably finished refereeing at test match level. The pressure and the fitness expected of you, I think, at that level, I think that triggered back into the bulimia again. But now, you know, it's not an issue at the moment.
Do you feel a responsibility to get a message out there? Do you feel like you need to use your...
No, I think the responsibility is your personal choice. You know, you shouldn't have to share the good or the bad. You know, imagine...
But you are quite open though, you're an open book.
Yeah, I am, but there's a reason for that. Because I lived most of my life as a lie, which nearly cost me my life. I'd gone to the World Cup in 2007. Myself and Wayne Barnes were the new kids on the block. He'd been in the press about my dealing with my sexuality and the suicide attempt and everything. And had a letter come in the post. She said, "Dear Nigel, I'd like to thank you for saving my son's life." And I read this letter with tears in my eyes. And what had happened was, her son was 16 and had tried to take his own life. They managed to find him in time and save him, but then they were scared, pretty much like my mum and dad were, that I was going to do it again, or he's going to do it again. They were a big rugby family, and they had some friends over. There was a discussion, they've chosen the referees for the World Cup. And so, yeah, a bit of surprise, Nigel Owens and Wayne Barnes going. And the other parent said, "Yeah, didn't I read something? Isn't Nigel Owens the gay referee?" And the dad of this child said, "Yeah, he is." He said, "But it doesn't matter about his sexuality. As long as he deserves to go as a referee, that's what matters." Now, this kid now, who tried to take his own life, I'd heard his dad saying that. And the following morning, he got up and he said to his mum and dad, "I got something to tell you." And he said to his mum and dad, "The reason why I tried to take my own life is the same reason as why Nigel Owens did." And he knew now, because I shared my story, his dad knew, he'd heard his dad say it didn't matter to him. Yeah. So he found the courage to tell his dad, and his dad said, "It doesn't matter, you're my son and we love you, it doesn't matter." And that was their worry, and this young kid's life now pretty much sorted. You know, that the worry had gone, he didn't have to live that lie anymore. Now
I get why you don't watch yourself back doing a World Cup final, because reading that letter over and over again would mean far more, like, to you and to any human being than watching a performance on a rugby field, is what I'm trying to say, I suppose, and I get it now.